Steph Make Movies. God bless you. Thank you for watching me. Today, I'll talk about how I felt about the Vince Staples show on Netflix. And to be honest, I enjoyed it. I'll talk about the good and the challenges. The good, and then I'll talk about the challenges. I think the show, when you look at the credits, Vince Staples, I think he created the show, executive producer, writer, actor, starring in it. That's a very, very difficult thing to do. So I can appreciate how much work he put into doing that. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Especially when you're not an actor. He's a musician. He's coming from rap and transitioning into filmmaking. So for a first project, it was magnificent. It was magnificent. I was talking with my boy about how he could have went a conventional route, a very safe route, and just told an ordinary gangster story. Crime, murder, drugs, women. But he got creative, and I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big supporter of influencing, generating our people to be more creative in their thoughts, even if we're dealing in the crime and drama and street genres, just to add more creativity to it. So I was a big fan of that, and I enjoyed it. You can tell. Okay, now I'm going to get into the challenges. You can tell that the Vince Staples show on Netflix was a baby of Atlanta, a baby of Donald Glover's Atlanta, as far as creatively how they approached the show. The angles, the pacing, the jokes. I felt like every 15 or 30 seconds something random was happening, just like in Atlanta. And the problem was, it felt that way, especially to someone who is in the industry and works and studies television and films and is also a big fan of Donald Glover and a major fan of Atlanta. I think it's one of the most historic shows on television ever. So you could tell that they were trying to be Atlanta-like. It's almost like trying to be Jordan-like, but the problem is it didn't live up to Atlanta, not at all. In what way? I would tell you. For example, there were certain scenes. What Atlanta was great at doing was social commentary, but not telling you what to think. It just presented the issue. It made you aware of the issue, and it very cleverly said different viewpoints about the issue. For example, the gun laws in Georgia, the Kombucha women who were raising the black kids and then almost committed suicide with them. These were all real stories, but Atlanta presented them in such a creative way that made you think, and that gave you social commentary. So the Vince Staples show, I felt like Atlanta went deep into it as well. The Vince Staples show, it was kind of borderline. It would touch on certain issues, but it wouldn't really get into it. I'll give you a perfect example. One just came to mind. The scene where Vince goes into the bank and he's trying to get a loan. He's trying to get a small loan of I think it was $5 million from this very rich and affluent bank, and the white banker does not give it to him. This is a very real issue, and this was a great opportunity to really educate people on this issue. Because when you look into it, small business owners, the disparity between what white people are able to get and what black people are able to get, let's say it's 100,000 for white people to 30,000 for black people. I'll say that again. 100,000 small business loans, 100,000 for white people on average, where on average for blacks it is 30,000. That is a major gap. So, and the show kind of touched on that. The show kind of touched on that with that scene where Vince, he's ready, he's prepared, he has a plan. He's showing he's making money. He's showing he has an album deal. I think he's getting $50,000 per album, and he has 15 albums coming. He's ready, he's prepared. He has all his paperwork, and then the white man says he declines him for a small loan of $5 million in the business world. That's nothing. So they just touched on it, but they didn't really go deep. They didn't go deep. I would have loved to see. I thought what was going to happen was, as soon as Vince leaves, a white man comes in that is not as prepared, is not making as much money, but he is easily able to get $10 million. That would have made me say, wow. That would have impacted and educated the audience, I feel like. But that's just my take. That's just my take. So that was one challenge. I didn't feel like there's social commentary.
In 7 minutes.
Even though they made an effort, they touched on it, they didn't go as deep as I think Atlanta went. Or not even in comparison to Atlanta. They didn't go as deep and as I think they could have. Another great scene where Vince was in the bushes. I don't know if he was stashing his gun in the bushes or he was pulling something out of the bushes. And then the bystander says something like, damn, cuz it's Vince, he really whipped out on me in real life. The bystander says something like that. And I thought that was a great opportunity to explore the really societal but black community pressure for our rappers, our musicians to live up to their music. We may be the only, I think it's definitely only the rap and hip hop culture that expects the musicians to be as real as their music. And I think that was another opportunity to really dive into that, what I call it an issue, not even an issue, but have social commentary on that topic. But all in all, for a first show, for someone who was not a filmmaker coming from the musician world, I enjoyed it. And congratulations, and we need to see more. And thank you for checking in. God bless you. Thank you for watching me, Steph Make Movies. Make sure you go cut the Live and Prosper tees. I'll put the link onto this video. Any questions, put them into the comments and let me know what you all think about the Vince Staples show and how you all perceive